Good morning, Groovers. And in the words of you two in that fabulous song, Monday, bloody Monday. I'm drive therapying myself this morning. If people care to join me, that would be delightful. But I'm also quite happy to deliver a log that will eventually turn into a soliloquy. Mondays are an interesting day of the week. Like, if you ask people their favourite day of the week, I reckon only a very small percentage of the planet would say, I love Mondays. Mondayitis is a thing. I kind of like working Mondays because I'm only part-time, so it means I get my days out early. Like I work Mondays and Tuesdays most weeks, and every second week I also work Friday. It is still Sunday for you, cement shoes. I'm in the future, and Monday's looking as good as it can. Hey, Armchair Detective MI5, and hello, Audrey. Just a reminder for chatters, I'm heading to work. It is Monday morning, so there will be the morning traffic crawl at some point when I'll be able to peek at chat. Where's Kenny? Hello. Um, but feel free to use capital letters and shout at me because my camera or my phone is quite a long way away from my face. I am wearing my reading glasses, but it still doesn't really help. Obviously, I only look at chat when it's safe. I do get criticised, and I did think about stopping these lives, and then I'm like, actually, you know what? Everyone's got Bluetooth cars these days. They chat on the phone. What's the fucking difference? I mean, as long as I'm not reading chat and typing in chat. Hey, Miss Kay, you guys are new to my channel. I'm normally query, but I'm really grumpy today. I'm pissed off. I'll tell you why in a minute, and I'm going to have to offload it. I do these drives and beach walks where and even sometimes we just park down at the beach, where we just get shit off our chest and throw it out into the ocean, or I deal with it. And by the time I get to work, I'm able to help my clients who have genuine problems, unlike me, with a clear mind and not with something. I'm one of those people that things just bug me. And I need to deliver, like a little speech. I've got a couple of friends who say there's the same as me. Like they wake up and something's on their mind. And for me, it's when I'm in the shower. I give a speech about what's pissing me off. And it works. Like I say everything I need to say, get it out of my system. If it's still bugging me a few weeks later and it's something that like a really close friend and I have had a clash or something, which isn't very common or it's quite rare actually, but whatever it is, if it's still bugging me, then I make a decision. It's like, okay, I now need to have a conversation with this person, or I need to have a conversation with someone about this topic because it's just still bugging me. Punky Banana, hello. Moody Mary, g'day. Yeah, people are constantly looking in their rearview mirrors, changing their music, whatever. But yeah, so if you are in chat, I do try to read chat. We will be in sounds funny saying peak hour traffic in Tasmania, but we do actually get it. And I usually get to town and have 5 or 10 minutes to put my makeup on and chat with everyone in the car park as well. So there will be stretches of this live where I'm literally just driving and, like I said at the start, giving a little monologue. Performing, no, not a monologue. Monologues when you perform a speech in a play, but for the sake of a witty one-liner, delivering a monologue that will eventually become a soliloquy, everyone will leave. Although there may be people who feel the same way I do about this topic. And the topic isn't one day. Like, I actually don't mind them because being part-time, working Mondays and Tuesdays, it means I've got the rest of the week off, which is lovely. And the weeks where I also work the Friday, which is going to happen this week, I'm kind of ready to do a little bit more work after a 2-day break. Right. Well, it's things that you require interesting enough to talk about shit in my life for the next hour and a bit. So, hey Trixie, hey Veruca, how are you? Hey Ruth, thank you. Ruth will keep reminding everyone about my inability to, even when we're crawling in traffic, which will be happening soon. But in the meantime, just enjoy the scenery, and I will also get my shit off my chest. So, the thing that keeps flipping my tit, other than Small being like a second late with a delay, so all the songs I keep trying to record for Lindley, because of the delay, it sounds like I can't keep time in songs, and that really annoys me because I'm not a great singer, but I can keep time. I've got rhythm, and it irritates me. I did a couple of duets with people, and there's a slight delay, and I sound like I'm a bit slow, literally and figuratively. We Aussies love everyone out there. So my vent, it's nothing to do with anybody on YouTube. I'm just so angry with Travis Scott still that I want to punch him in the face 1,000 times. And I'm not a violent person, but he has stirred in me a rage I've never seen before. Like, I want to kick him in the nuts over and over and over again until I see blood coming out of his body. Now, if you're not following Travis Scott and Astroworld, you might still find my event interesting. And God forbid there's anyone in my chat who's supporting that fucker. I mean, you can, but I don't know how you could still be on that side of the fence. But it's just like every day there's just more and more shit about him. Or I revisit thoughts of earlier stuff I've talked about. I'm covering it on my Smooth Criminal podcast channel, by the way, which is where I am going to try to always do my true crime shit. But it's a tiny little channel. I had a podcast for a couple of years and I uploaded all my episodes to it. But I'm starting to use that now as very small channel, very small community, but lovely. Dude has no nuts. Well, he wouldn't have any after I've finished with him. They'd be so far up in his throat. It'd be up in his throat. He could brush them with a toothbrush. He just is the epitome of the millennials that give millennials a bad name. Because there are some good millennials out there. But he is the absolute epitome of the shittiest millennial. And I'm saying that purely to define that generation, like the age in particular. And I will repeat it over and over again because I'm sure I'll get millennials going, oh my God, she hates millennials. And the people that say that, you're the millennials I don't like. I can't stand the word hate. The only thing I hate is the word hate. And secondly, because I'm critiquing a millennial doesn't mean I hate all millennials. But I'm not a fan of a shitload of them, and a lot of them were at his concert. The people that just do not give a flying fuck about anybody else and are not accountable for any of their shitty behaviour, they're the people in that age group that happens to be defined as millennials who flip my tatas. You get angry too, Trixie. Yeah, me too. And well, luckily I've avoided knowing much about the Kardashians. They've never interested me at all, at all. Caitlyn Jenner has, in a way, because a lot of you know that one of the things I'm very passionate and vocal about is trans rights, especially trans children, because of a connection that I have in my personal life. It's an issue that I'm like very vocal about. I'm definitely an ally, and so I was interested. But at the end of the day, I mean, Caitlin's got access to so much money and support and counselling and, you know, top surgery and all of that sort of stuff that most people who are contemplating like fully transitioning or just living as trans people, they don't have that privilege, that luxury. So she's not really a great role model for trans people. But I was kind of interested in her story at the start. But the hard drink. I know, I feel like having an Irish coffee. I just can't resolve my anger at him. And, you know, the kids that put up like the survivors who've put up their stories on social media platforms, you know, TikTok, I mean, some of them maybe YouTube, but mainly TikTok, Instagram, that sort of stuff, they're being taken down. And they're being censored. Who the fuck is behind this fucker that's happening? But the other thing is, I did cover it on my Smooth Criminal podcast channel, that former mayor of Baltimore or Maryland, whatever, Baltimore, wherever, she's from Maryland. I can't get past her saying that people saying he could have stopped the concert is ludicrous. It's just driving me insane because he actually stopped that concert twice. Didn't give a flying fuck beyond a token, hey, there's someone down there, make some space around him. The poor someone down there was already unfortunately dead. He's stopped concerts that he's performed at other music festivals where he isn't even the organiser. And that stupid bint representing him because he hasn't got any balls and he can't fucking represent himself and speak to his crazed fans or apologise to the people who lost children or to the people in the audience who will be forever traumatised because they saw people being trampled to death. So many people at that concert saw their first body. Now, I'm dead body. I mean, I worked as a criminal barrister, as a lot of you know, and I've seen a lot of crime scene photos. I've seen a lot of pretty bad murder scene photos in particular. I've seen a lot of dead bodies. So for me, I kind of have to rewind way back to when I probably saw my first dead body. And I think it was when I started practicing law. But the thought of being at a concert and you're a teenager and you're watching people being trampled to death and dead bodies being carried out of a crowd, it's fucked up. Hey, Jack. I'll be able to read chat in a minute. We crawl soon. So I know that the regulars in here will be welcoming and pour love on all of you and let you know when I'm not chatting about chat, it's because I'm driving. Safety first. You know, like if I was reading chat and I ran into a tree, it would serve me right, but I'm not putting other people on the road in danger. Danger, Will Robinson. Mind you, my car, if I hit anything, well, there's a comedian in Australia who used to do a joke about driving a Barina, which is like a little tiny, it's bigger than a smart car, but, you know, it's a little flimsy car. He's like, I drive a Barina. If I hit someone, my car will just wrap myself around its wrist and they can wear it as a bangle. I always drive safe, Moody Mary, but I have had people in the past criticise me for not reading chat when I'm driving, and I'm like, huh? But it is morning traffic, and we are about to crawl over the first of two causeways. If you like scenery and water and stuff like that, you're in for a treat. There are piles of rubbish on the side of the road. That's not because Australians are pigs and we just put shit on the road. Part of our rates with our local council includes what they call hard rubbish. So all the stuff that's sort of too big to go in your bins that you put out every week, you pop it out on the verge. You have to book your address in with the council, but they send trucks around and pick up all of the hard rubbish. But you can score some good shit on hard rubbish week too. So yeah, we're not dirty bastards who just leave shit out on the side of the road. It's hard rubbish. Well, it's actually hard rubbish month down here. So anyone want to buy a Range Rover? That one just on the left, it's for sale. Let's see what it's worth. What do they want? Couldn't see how much they want for it. I do need a chauffeur. Imagine that. If I had someone driving and I just sat in the passenger seat and just ranted. But it looks like you guys are interested in Travis Scott too, even though a lot of you have come across from the land of the anti-NC people. I'm right with you on my chauffeur. Oh my God. My ribs would just be hurting. And knowing you, we'd also have Anton Dupek and your chooks in the back seat. Moody Mary, it's and all her marbles. Your name's kind of on a. You and I sort of belong in the same group, Traces of Nuts, and you're mentioning your marbles. I mean, I called myself that because it used to be a website. I used to have a foodie website. Long story where that website went, but and I like it because it was a comedy-based cooking channel. Like the cooking's serious, but I like to have a bit of fun. So if I'm cooking a flan, I call it a flange, that sort of shit. But I think we've all got a bit of nuts in us, and I'm on YouTube to have fun. So if my name reminds people to, lighten up and have a few giggles and even be a little bit batshit, then do it, Yeah, that you can pick up fantastic stuff on. I mean, there's dining room chairs, 2 of them that are leather, and there's nothing wrong with them at all. No recliners though. Yeah, marbles, nuts, all the same. Exactly. So one of the reasons it's so crawly is we're all heading to work on a Monday morning. But secondly, there are roadworks coming up here. You've lost all of your marbles. I loved marbles as a kid. Fuck, that was a good game. Imagine giving a kid now a bag of marbles for Christmas instead of an Xbox. Imagine just giving them a bag of marbles. They'd look at you. They'd probably throw them at you. I loved my marbles, and I used to look at them for hours. Some of them were so pretty. And we'd play at them at school at recess, and, someone always had a marble that you were eyeing off. And it was such a great day at school when you won the marble that you wanted. Or you swapped a marble for a marble. You didn't even have to win it. But yeah, imagine giving kids marbles now. They'd just be like, fuck you. And that would be your 3-year-old. Fuck you. I don't know what happened to my marbles. My my literal marbles. Oh, the causeway is really pretty this morning. On the right, the water is like glass, reflecting. Oh, someone asked about the temperature. It's 13 degrees Celsius. It's only going to get to 18 today, but it'll be sunny. And the sun down here is really bitey because we've got a bit of an ozone layer hole over us. We didn't create it. We just ended it. You can't overtake, you stupid twerp. That car's looking to see if they can overtake. The car in front of you is not going slow because they're a slow driver. They're stuck in traffic like you are, you dumb fuck. Oh, my God, listen to me. I'm repugnant this morning. I am Linley. Well, I'm not Linley, but yes, I play Linley. Where's Kenny? Don't hold it against me. Hopefully, if you see me, like, hopefully joining this live, you'll be like, oh, okay, the girl that plays Linley's got a bit more of a personality than Linley. But yes, guilty. I am Linley. I am Linley. Linley, I'll be doing Linley for the rest of my life, I reckon. I reckon I'll be this 90-year-old YouTuber just being Linley. So back to Travis Scott, because I've got to get him out of my system. I'm so angry at his rep for saying anyone who suggests he could have stopped the show is ludicrous. When he actually stopped that show twice, he's stopped his show, performing at other people's festivals over things like a shoe, throwing his little fucking tantrums. Some guy that jumped up on stage one time, he stopped the show and accused the guy of being a thief. There's a lot of love for Linley. Yeah, they build each other with marbles or eat them. Yeah, quite a few kids ate marbles when we were at school. I had ones that were just so pretty. Like I didn't like the tiger eye ones. Because they were really common. Like everyone had tiger's eyes, but there were these smoky blue ones. They were just. It was like a little puff of smoke captured in a glass ball. Oh my god, they were so beautiful. Yeah, the shoe stuff and his dumbass rep. I'm so glad he's being sued, and I hope he gets sued for more. Drew for you too, Chixie. The sun will come out. The sun will come out tomorrow. Were those marbles called Smokies? Did they have a name? Because some of them, like, they were tiger's eyes. Where's Kenny loves Linley? Poor Lin. I hope he goes broke too. But I mean, he's been sued for like $2 billion, and somebody said, "Oh, he won't even notice that's missing." I'm like, really? Is he worth that much? Is he really worth that much? Like more than $2 billion? Really? How? He's a talentless git. He doesn't even have a band. It's just his little wanky self pouncing around on stage. And he was like, his former manager spoke up and confessed that they botched figures to make him more popular than he was. Like, they essentially invented him as this superstar. I love Natalia too. He uses auto-tune. Yep. I mean, that was one of the. Well, I mean, there were so many horrible videos of that concert, but the thing that really fucked me off was him doing that horrible droning auto-tuning while a body was being carried out, and he's watching it. Well, Moody Mary, he's a superstar because, I mean, I hate calling him that, but he's popular because his previous manager admitted that they botched figures on a heap of different platforms like Spotify, all the sort of music-based platforms. They botched the figures to make it look like more people were listening to him and downloading his songs. He's essentially a social media creation. And he's living proof that you don't have to have any talent at all to end up being worth millions. See, this is cute. You guys are having marble therapy. Yeah, I used to get really upset if I had one that I thought was really beautiful and it got a chip out of it. Oh my God. I'm now visualizing. I had another one that was red in, like it was. I like the clear ones with one color inside, but I had one that had this little red thing inside it, and I loved it. And it was one of my best fighters. It was really small, and it got chipped so many times that it stopped rolling. But yeah, marble therapy, guys. If any of you need to talk about marbles that perish when you were a child playing marble. But yeah, mate, I'm still laughing at the thought of giving a kid a bag of marbles now. You'd probably get murdered with it. They'd probably, yeah, I didn't play with my favourites either, but that little red one was a really good fighter. I won so many games with that one. But yeah, we'd probably get belted. Hey, Michelle P. Hey, I didn't hear. I'd never heard of him either. I had people in my chat going, "Oh, he's a Kardashian baby daddy," and I'm like, "Well, I don't know anything about them either, except that I know that they are insipid enough that I don't want to know anything else about them. You know what I mean? Like, I've heard of them, but I have no desire to know them or anything about them. I can't stand people that become insanely wealthy for nothing, like this fucker. I hate that. Hate. Look at me saying hate, and I hate the word hate. I despise pop culture that creates heroes who are talentless. I mean, I could be wrong, but did not the Kardashians shoot to fame because Kim did a porn? Is that not what led to this family becoming insanely wealthy? I don't follow them at all, but I've never stumbled across in mainstream media because quality media doesn't acknowledge them, which is partly why I had no fucking idea about them. But I've never heard them any of them saying or doing anything of note. Other than just being twat muffins. Yeah, see, a lot of us are in the same boat. We'd never even heard of him. My instant reaction when the story broke was, uh-oh, this story won't be good because his name is Travis. Now, apologies if any of you have got children or grandchildren called Travis, but my school teacher friends consistently say that one of the naughtiest names, like it's funny how kids' names often define the people they are, but so many of my friends who are teachers say that one of the names that's always a naughty person is Travis. Like if they get their class list for the next year and they're Travis, they're like, oh, fuck. But they're consistently bad news, naughty. And not fun naughty, like I love fun naughty. I was fun naughty. I'm still fun naughty. These are like nasty naughty. But I'd never heard of him. But I'm not into rap. So, well, I am a bit. I mean, Eminem I love. And there's a few other rappers that if they're playing in the background, I can tolerate them. But, oh, my God, Lindley recorded a song with James Blunt last night. Lindley's got a boyfriend and it's James Blunt. But I've realised with Small, not only does it have this annoying delay that makes me sound like I'm missing a few brain cells, and due to some poor life choices in my early days, I wouldn't be surprised. I think I'm like surviving on 10 now, but if you sing with a famous person, you can't upload it to YouTube. You can share it on Facebook, you can tweet it, you can Instagram it, but what it does is it sends people over to the Small app. Whereas the other Lindley tunes, I've been able to just upload them straight to YouTube. And I'm gutted because James and Lindley have I think, some chemistry. And because it's a phone-based app, I can't even stream it. Like, I can't go on StreamYards and play it to you guys. I mean, I get it. It's clever of them to get artists to record, one half of a duet or whatever, and people on Small can sing along with them. And it makes sense too that if you've got these big names doing that you direct people to the app. But and hopefully there'll be some Crawley traffic soon, guys. I'll be able to read chat again. So if you have said anything or you're participating or you've got a comment you'd like me to see, when we're crawling in traffic will be your time to repost it. I can't scroll. We're not allowed to touch our phones when we're driving here. Instant license disqualification. So, yeah, if you have something that I haven't seen, we did sing You're Beautiful. And Lily did an okay job, actually. I was surprised. Lily did all right. I mean, not great, but she did okay. Although one of her parts, I don't know the song well enough to know one of the parts that she had to sing, and I think she sang it a little bit wrong. The scenery is gorgeous. I'm now speeding up again to 110 kilometres an hour. Probably looks like 5 million to you guys, kilometres an hour, but I'm doing the speed limit. I'm not. It looks faster than it is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, Lindley and James Blunt, but I've got no way of sharing it with you unless you go to Small. For those of you that are joining me for the first time on a drive, I live in Tasmania, which is the little, I call it heart-shaped island. Some people are very cruel and say that a map of Tassie, in Australia, if you talk about a map of Tassie, you're talking about a woman's pubic hair region. But I like to say it's the little love heart island at the bottom of mainland Australia. And I work in Hobart, which is the capital of Tasmania. Just over 250,000 people in Hobart and just over 500,000 on the entire island. But in terms of land mass, we've got the same amount of land as England. But we've only got just over 500,000 people on the entire island. And I know there's a few England dwellers in chat that can put the population of England into chat. But yeah, so I've got to try and work out how to let you guys hear Lindley and James Blunt. But when I did Hello for the Hello videos, but of course Lindley didn't make the list, so I'm going to try and edit it again. I think I need to speed Natasha up doing the list. It's about 8 minutes long, but that's because her list is so fucking long. But it's also painful listening to her speaking so slowly. So I'm going to try and crop it down a little bit more. But Lily had to sing the entire song because she's Devo, man. Natasha just doesn't notice her ever, ever. Poor Lindley. But when I did hello, like in small, there's a button that you can just hit for YouTube and it uploads it. But because I sang with a famous person, as someone who can actually sing, unlike Travis Scott, the only way I can sort of share it is to social media platforms where it provides a link that will send you to Small. I can't even. Oh, wait a minute. Well, no. If I put it on my community post, like I could put the URL on my community post, but it's still going to make you all have to go to Small. And I don't know if you'll be able to listen to it without signing up. And I don't want to do that because you get like a 30-day or 14-day actually. You get I think it's a 14-day free trial. And then after that, it's like $15 a month. And you can cancel before it kicks in, but, the payments. But I don't want to direct you guys to an app that has a paywall. Unless you can literally just listen or watch without joining up. But I don't know. I suspect that you'd have to join up to be able to listen. Or they might let you listen to a couple for free and then make you sign up. I don't know. Hopefully, there's usually sort of crawly traffic coming up, and hopefully I'll be able to pre-chat. But if not, when we get into the city, those of you who come on drives with me a lot, you'll know that I get to the car park and I have to put my makeup on because I live during the day, my commute into town's only like 35 minutes, but for work it can be an hour. So I don't bother doing my makeup till I get to the car park. Hey, what about if I use on my phone, if I used DU Recorder? I wonder if I could record me singing with James. Be a bit sneaky. It'll lose a lot of the sound quality if I do that, but I could try doing that. Because I've got that app where you can record stuff. So I'm wondering if I played me and James singing the blues on DU Recorder. Like the quality won't be great. And I'll put the link to Small in my chat, in my description. So if people wanted to join Small, they can. I'll credit them. But I'm wondering if I can do that. But Lindley's been singing a few duets. I'm trying to think of the name. Is it A Big New World? The people that did Say Something. She does a duet with them too. I can't upload that one to YouTube either. But that one's not great because it's got the delay's really obvious, whereas the delay with James Blunt isn't that obvious. And we've got to make Lindley sound as good as possible. Fuck no, she needs all the help she can get. You can't polish a turd, but you can roll it in glitter, right? So if she's belting out a number with James Blunt, Sugar Boo. Oh, hi, Jack. I did, I mentioned that a little bit earlier. I'm disgusted that we're back to Travis Scott. That because I've seen heaps of videos of kids who are talking about how their videos have been deleted across so many different social media platforms, mainly TikTok, but they've put up like testimonials essentially of what happened. And they're being taken down and censored, and like people might be saying, oh well, he's being sued, and all of those witness statements are, privileged and they need to be taken down. But no, they're just accounts of kids. These kids aren't going to get called as witnesses. They don't need to call the kids. There's enough evidence already. Like, there was a duty of care. He breached it and numerous other parties, and people died because of it. It's a really straightforward case, unfortunately. Unfortunately, when you have mass casualties, cases are very easy to prove. The fighting is going to be between all of the accused parties and who's responsible and what percentage they contributed to the negligence. That's really what the issue is going to be. And I can't believe there are still channels on YouTube. And I mean, I don't bounce around other social media. I mean, I use Twitter to be a troll for reality shows because that's a creative writing thing for me that I love. I'm Traces of Nuts on Twitter, it's obvious who I am on there. No, I lost my train of thought, but oh yeah, the people that are on YouTube still defending Travis Scott, you'd think they were his biggest fans, but I'm sure half of them have never even fucking heard of him, like most of us, until this happened. But how anyone can still be defending that fucker? And on my Smooth Criminal podcast channel, I think the second last live, the last live I did was about him being, well, it was actually just a video. It was a bit short video. The live I did before that, I play a video at the end which shows bands like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, even Queen, a heap of pretty thrashy bands as well, stopping concerts when someone's getting hurt in the crowd. I know there's footage floating around of how Adele handled a girl passing out at one of her concerts. Like, there's heaps of those sorts of videos out there. So people that keep saying, oh, he couldn't have done anything. No, how can you still be on his side? He stopped his concert twice. Oh, but anyone just suggested he could stop his concert is it's ludicrous. That's what his rep said. It's ludicrous. But he did actually stop it twice. Yeah, the snow's gone. I like one song by the band Travis because I only know one song, the one about them. Why does it always rain on me? Whenever I hear it, when they go, why does it always rain on me? I'm like, because you live in fucking Scotland. I heckle James Blunt too. Well, Lindley does. Lindley questions James in You're Beautiful. Because it's always bugged me, that song. Right at the start, he's like, I've got a plan. And I'm like, whoa, James, you got a plan. And then a bit further on, he says, I don't know what to do. And it's like, but I thought you had a fucking plan. What happened to your plan? Like, you're pretty confident at the start you've got a plan, mate. And then we're into the song and now you're like, I don't know what to do. Well, do your plan. Why don't you just do your plan? You said you had a plan. I mean, the song's only 3 minutes long. What happened to your plan? How did your plan disappear so quickly? Because at the start you were very confident about your plan. And now you're saying you don't know what to do, but you had a plan, man. Silly song lyrics. I could talk about them for days. There's an Australian band, Eskimo Joe, that have a song called Sarah. The very first line of the song, Sarah, won't you tell me your name? You already know it, mate. It's fucking Sarah. I could talk about song lyrics. I heckle songs. Some of them I love, but I can't help it, Sarah, won't you tell me your name? Yeah, it's Sarah. Duh. We'll do a live about that one day too. But yeah, I still want to know what happened to James's plan. Because he was so fucking cocky. Like he's checking out this chick on the train. He's got a plan. And the next thing is, oh, I don't know what to do. Well, do your plan. Man. I'm trying to think of more song lyrics. I used to do a routine on stage about stupid song lyrics, and Sarah featured in it. And so did James Blunt with his plan. Worst plan ever. Worst memory ever. I think he forgot his plan. That was about his wife. What was about his wife? Okay. This is. I'm directing pedestrians. The plan was he didn't know what to do. I've got a plan. Quite a lot of comedians do songs, routines about songs. Some of them are gold. There's do you remember that? There she comes again song. This comedian sings that and he's like, oh, is it there she goes? Whatever it is. He's like, is she on a roundabout? A merry-go-round? He met his wife on the train platform. Are you sure? I thought James Blunt met his wife long after You're Beautiful. Maybe the plan was to play stupid. Look at this slow reversing and slowly moving forward cars, like synchronized turd burgers. People who can't find their accelerators. I mean, you don't have to speed through the car park, but oh, look, guys, look how early we are. We are actually quite early. We had a good run in, guys. But when James and Lindley sing, he starts and he goes, "My life is brilliant," and then he goes, "It actually really fucking is." Well, irrespective about the wife and the platform, it still doesn't make sense. The dude's got a plan, and then barely a minute later, he doesn't know what to do. Just check out your plan, man. And then it's out. He just infuriates me every day. I'm like, I just want to punch him in the face. I mean, there's nothing. The only news story that's sort of going a bit viral at the moment is the number of videos that have just mysteriously disappeared. Breaking news: Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker. Is there another Travis in the Kardashian clan? Sit on beach for romantic movie night. Hey, Ozzy. Good morning, cuz. Francesca's on a walk. Good morning, gorgeous. Exactly, Moody. Stick with your plan, James. I'll work out how I can do it. I'll see if Lindley can record her duet. Oh shit, I completely forgot I was meant to stop and get petrol on the way in. Where's Kenny? Tori, what do you do for work? I'm a lawyer. I work in a community legal centre. I'm a broke lawyer. I'm a lawyer who works for very little money but helps a lot of people. Spinal Tap, great movie. Did you crank it up to 11, Jack? He never met the girl he's seen on the train. Exactly. I don't think he met her. I mean, he would have if he'd stuck to his plan. I was meant to get petrol on the way, and I'm going to have to get petrol on the way home. La, 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 la. I had a beautiful family gathering yesterday. God, it was fun. But I'm a bit tired today. It was a lot of work, but it was fun. So, yeah, I'm a community legal centre lawyer. I sort of work in an area of rights. Hey, Irvin, how you doing? The thing I love about James Blunt is I don't think he's an ugly guy. I mean, I don't find him hot. He's not my type. He's a bit too wet for me. But what I do like about him is how he handled people on Twitter that were making fun of him and abusing the fuck out of his music and saying he was a fuckwit. And his responses on Twitter were just epic. And, you know, he taught people to not take themselves so friggin' seriously and get all butthurt and offended, but rather, you know, respond to the wankers and with humour and intelligence. And that's what I love about him. Good morning, Mr. Recliner Man. Tori, you need the boxing bag. Oh, I need a boxing bag with a picture of Travis on it? Yeah, well, yeah. Armchair detective, I wouldn't kick him out of bed either. James Blunt, I'm assuming you're talking about. I wouldn't kick him out of bed either, except to shag him on the floor. Oh, yeah, I'm delivering all the jokes this morning. And I've got to take my spectacles off for a minute and put on some foundation. I can chat to you guys for about 20 minutes. But that's what I really loved about James Blunt. That's when I really became a James Blunt fan. And then a friend of mine adores him and has seen him perform live many, many times. And we're at a party and she put on one of his albums and knew every song, every word, and is a really good little dancer. And she sort of got me a bit hooked because I got to sort of witness firsthand an absolute diehard James Blunt fan. And there were so many songs on his albums that I think are way better than the ones that he had commercial success with, which is often the case. But I was also working in commercial radio at the time. So, you know, things like You're Beautiful just get flogged to death. And you're like, this guy's got so many other amazing songs, like really good songs. Play them. But they'd be like, no, 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 no. No, no, no. It has to be top 10 hits all the time. It's like, yeah, but they're getting boring. And there's a lot more to Jimmy Blunt than that. So, you know, ramp it up a little, guys. I'm working in commercial radio for 7 years. It does destroy a lot of songs for you that you normally or that you used to love, but they get played so much you're like, oh. And I was on a station that played hits of the 80s, 90s, and today. That's how long ago it fucking was. But being a teenager in the 80s, I already have a massive aversion to a lot of like the really commercial. Like a song that makes me want to curl up in a ball and die is Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I cannot stand it. I can't stand mainstream 80s music. But whack on B-sides or play songs by that artist that are not as well known, good stuff. And so I talked about poor little Corey Hart the other day on a live about how he, you know, Sunglasses at Night was his biggest hit and that's how he was sort of known. his album that song was on, every other song was a million times better than that. Corey Hart put out some fucking great music, but it didn't get played because the people liked the Sunglasses at Night song, and he kind of that was his thing. He got pigeonholed, and he's forever remembered as a dickhead who wears his sunglasses at night, you know? But he had some amazing stuff. I'm just putting on my powder so I can put my specs back on for a second, have a look at what you're all up to in chat. I will find a way to get Lindley and Jimmy Blunt doing their duet. I mean, I wonder if I open while I'm on StreamYard, I wonder if I open small and play it, you'll be able to hear it. Can you guys hear, like, I know one time I was live and I had a YouTube window open and I've got autoplay and it rolled onto another YouTube something and it started playing. But I don't know if you guys can hear it. I've got a text message that's coming from a friend and it's just the letter S. And that always bugs me. I'm like, which S is it? Who is it I know who would have sent me a text at this hour of the morning whose name starts with S? First world problems. James is very witty. Oh, your husband with legal services and now public defender. Oh, lovely. Give him a hug from me, Jack. We're good people. We're people who use our law degrees for good, not evil. You're Beautiful was played at a funeral. If I share my screen. I found Callum Scott last year. He's pretty good. Callum Scott. Hopefully he's not related to Travis Scott. Share the screen. All right, let's see if I can do this. Oh, hang on. Let me see first if I can even share a screen on StreamYard in on my phone. I don't think I can. I don't think you get the share screen feature on StreamYard. I can add a guest. But you can't share a screen. You can post a comment. You can change the layout. There's private chat. I go into settings and that's just like general camera, audio and guests. I'll go to general. Oh, wait a minute. Automatically add shared screens, videos to stream. Okay. Now, if I lose you guys, I'll come back, but yeah, hugs to all the lawyers out there who got into law. I mean, I've worked in a commercial law firm in insurance law. I'm not going to make out that I've this friggin' saint, but that was back in the 90s. I wanted to bounce around and try different areas of law to find my niche, and then I went in an Australian national comedy competition and I got runner up and I threw in law to become a stand-up comedian. But I worked in private practice, like in a couple of really small firms in a little country practice. But I did try the commercial world after doing crim, because crim does take its toll. I mean, I loved being a criminal defense lawyer, but you're constantly having to justify your existence to people. It's like, if you ended up being charged with something, wouldn't you want to have the best representation possible? Wouldn't you want a lawyer saving your ass and keeping you out of jail? Well, of course I would. Well, then stop having a go at me for representing someone that you think's a piece of shit. Because Who's to say people won't think you're a piece of shit one day, you know? Like, why shouldn't people be given an opportunity to be cleared of charges? Because we all know how many innocent people end up in jail and how many innocent people get charged with shit. Unfortunately, the people that should be charged with shit seem to always get away scot-free. My sister works at Legal Aid, Mr. Recliner Man. We're both in community legal. My brother's a lawyer too, but he's not practicing law at the moment. He's home. I got to see my brother yesterday. They live in Singapore. I got to see Will yesterday. Oh my God, it was so cool. It was kind of weird. I'm like, oh my God, you're here. Because we're all so used to them being in Singapore. My sister-in-law and my niece have come home a couple of times. Lily's now at school back here. She didn't really dig Singapore. But it was so cool to see my brother. Oh my God, it was the best. And they're home for 10 days. So I'll be seeing him again. Ange and Will and I are going to go and get a pub meal for lunch one day. But it was just so cool to see him. I miss him like crazy. He doesn't have to look so fucking healthy and tanned and fit and handsome, but, you know, fuck it, he does. But it was so lovely to have him in my house. I'm like, my God, you're here. It was wonderful. Who are you watching on YouTube? Oh, Callum Scott. All right, I'll check him out. Representing Chris Watts. Oh yeah, well, I represented a few dodgy people, but nobody too bad. But I had to interview one of the Snowtown murderers. For people in Australia, they'll know the case. I'm talking about the bodies in the barrels. I interviewed one of those guys, and God, he had bad juju. I helped out he had a barrister who I helped out by getting some statements for him. But yeah, he bad juju. But I never felt unsafe as a criminal lawyer because I was their key to their liberty, you know, so they all respected me. I didn't have a bad experience with any of them. In fact, I almost felt protected by a lot of them, especially the bikers. I represented a biker really early on in my career, and I had a biker gang like watching my back the whole time I was practicing law in that field. I felt very safe. And it's a really good feeling when the prosecution don't prove a case and someone who's been charged with something walks free and you believe that they are not guilty or they're not guilty of what they've been charged with. I mean, that was my job, was to try and get acquittals. Oh, yeah, Snowtown. You grew up with one of the victims. Wow. Look at us. We've got a close connection. Where's Kenny? Look, I mean, I take the piss out of Lindley, and Mel and I parody them, and that really, like, I know that there's a lot of stuff out there about her, but I really haven't, like, got a firm opinion on that. I listen to a lot of channels that are talking about her past, but I've got to say, like, a lot of it, I don't get involved in the chat or anything. I'm just not really going down that rabbit warren. Like, don't get me wrong, I think she's a master manipulator, and I think the people that keep handing her money, it's heartbreaking that they're supporting her so blindly and they're not doing their research. But I really don't know enough, and I haven't seen enough. I'm not saying the people that are talking about her don't have evidence, because they say repeatedly that they've got screenshots and stuff, but I haven't seen enough evidence to form an opinion. Is that diplomatic enough? Sorry to hear that, though, that you grew up with one of the victims. That was a horrible case. Chair Detective, just Google Snowtown murders, South Australia. Elizabeth was the victim that really broke my heart. I mean, all of them, but for some reason, it's the worst case. I wonder if you're behind Jack in chat or you're just linking it. Yeah, the marginalised people get way overcharged. Yep, and put away. Yep. Yeah, well, I hope that I'd love him to be locked up and the key thrown away. He's a piece of shit. I'm not a fan. Too early? Hey, come on, I'm about to start work. Well said. I don't know what I said, but thanks. Yeah, bikers are very loyal if you help them. You don't know me at all. G'day, gorgeous. You're an ex-mod. Yeah, there's a few of you groovers. I like you. I was in a mod group years ago when I first came to YouTube, and we had a baptism of fire. We were doxed our full names because back in the day when we first came to YouTube's, a lot of us had our full name as our channel. And one of the girls who got kicked out of the mod group got really fucked off about it and put out videos of all of our private chats from Messenger. And on Facebook, we all had our real names as well. And there were pictures of kids and our names. And every day I'd wake up to more videos outing all these private chats. And yeah, I've had an experience. Anyway, two of us, well, kind of three, two and a half. Two of us stayed very close afterwards after we left. She left voluntarily because of a drama that happened when I gave a YouTube creator $10 that the creator we were modding for didn't like that creator. So it caused a nightmare. Anyway, one of the mods stuck up for me and she actually said, this is bullshit. And she left. And then they all just left the chat bubble that I was in, and that was it. I was dumped. So we became incredibly close. We were already close, but we became even closer. And then I'm not sure if it must have been this year, earlier on this year, a few of the original mods who were still modding for that creator, they all had a massive falling out with her. And we've all reconnected. We've got this shared nightmare experience. It was horrific. I was burning out of a really full-on corporate job at the time as well, and I'd never had to live with debilitating anxiety before, and then all of that shit was happening on YouTube at work as well. It was not a good time. Not a good time. Over, frigging YouTube, not worth it. This is where groovers come from. You've had it stuck in your head. Just start saying groovers wherever you go. Now I'm going to see if I can put small on and if you can hear it. And if I bounce out of StreamYard, I'll be back. So just hang tall. I'm trying to. I might have to put you on that crazy angle. Sorry, guys. Okay, no, that's YouTube with me live on YouTube. That was weird. That was weird. Small, small, small. There it is. Oh shit! It's not letting me open it. I reckon it because it knows I'm streaming. Really? It couldn't be that Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me now? Drop a one in chat. Oh, Granny's watching. So you guys still can't hear me, can you? Oh, you can. Thanks for sending me a message, Ruth. Ruth must have, I think Ruth thought I'd fainted or something. No, you wanted me to play bloody Lindley's duet with James Blunt. So I was experimenting and Small fucked with my audio. And I was trying different things. I tried putting on my Bluetooth speaker. I've just had messages that my work colleague is unwell today and my other work colleague's working from home. So once again, I'm running the service. So I'm going to actually log off in a sec because I need to get in and get set up and let them know that I know that I'm on my own. So I did try to, Granny, I'm so sorry to hear that. We'll have to have another chat soon, but I've just arrived at work and I'm literally running the community legal service on my own today. So I'm going to have one last ciggy with my coffee and then I'm going to go. But before you came in, Wes Kenny was asking about NC stuff, and I was honest. Like, although I know there's a lot of stuff being said about shit that she's done, and a lot of people say they have screenshots and all the rest of it, and it doesn't sound good, but I'm not forming any strong opinions on it because I've learnt my lesson on YouTube before. No, you're not taking it over, gorgeous. I'm nearly finished anyway. I am going to be flat out today, Tamara. It's going to be a day. The problem is which I experienced with the mod group that I was in back in 2018 and the baptism of fire that we all had when a mod got kicked out of the group and started putting out videos of our private chats. And it was absolutely horrible because when you're in a private chat with people that you are friends with, you never think for a second that that stuff is going to be put out for everyone to see, and a lot of it taken out of context looked really bad. And a lot of it we were being fuckwits, you know, we weren't being, like, when I say fuckwits, we're just mucking around and saying dumb shit as you do. But I won't forget fuel on the way home. My car will give me a little alert anyway. But yeah, it's just you know, once bitten. So although, I mean, Lindley is obviously a piss take and Natalia, like, we did it really without knowing the depths of this story. And I'm quite happy to sort of stay where I am. I'm still going to keep doing Lindley parodies because I'm having heaps of fun doing it. But the thing I learned very early on YouTube was trust no one. You know, that little bit of advice that David Duchovny gave us all in the X-Files, trust no one, very much applies on YouTube. And the real life side of it is very scary. But I live on an island, you know, at the bottom of Australia, halfway to fucking Antarctica. I've lived in the public eye my whole life. There's every bit of information about me out there possible. And I'm going to run the service one day, Chair Detective. Don't you worry about that. I feel safe, you know, and if somebody did rock up at my house, I'd be like, cool, g'day, come and have a run, mate. Or like Anthony Jeselnik, my favourite American comedian, says if he was murdered because of one of his jokes, that's like winning in the comedy world. Lindley is harmless fun. And she's sort of her own person now anyway. She's kind of morphing into her own character. I mean, she's got a boyfriend on Small already, and it's James Blunt. But I'm also all for people talking and being brave about shit that's happening on YouTube and calling that shit out. And that's where my interest in that whole thing is. But I wouldn't speak out unless I had evidence and felt confident in what I was saying. And I'm not saying that a lot of the people that are giving narratives at the moment don't have a lot of evidence. Oh, look, I think it's going to be a long road. There'll be heartbreak for Lindley soon too, trust me. Lindley has a following. Lindley's got her own channel, but I'm not putting any Lindley stuff on it. I'm going to use my channel for Lindley. But Lindley's going to go into chats. But yeah, well, you've only lost her temporarily, Mr. Reclaimer. I think James Blunt's going to dump her pretty quickly. There'll be a heartbreak song coming up fairly soon too. I'm going to have to go, guys. I've got to run a legal service on my own today, and it's a very busy legal service. So I might have to depart. I'd love to talk more about speaking up on YouTube and when it's safe to do so and all of that sort of stuff. The problem is that just putting us on this platform, it really doesn't matter what we say. Someone will take umbrage, someone will get offended, and somebody will run with things. It's just the way it is. So you just have to decide. You have to choose your battles. And my battle at the moment is trying to get Lindley to do at least one song on Small that's remotely in tune. Have a great day, everyone. Bye, Audrey. Thanks, Kenny. Where's Kenny? But yeah, you can't trust anyone on any social media platform. There is no safety on the internet ever. I will have a great day at work. Oh, look, people are rolling on in and I've got to go. Thanks for hanging out with me, Groovers on the Drive. I'll be live again soon. And stay groovy, everyone. Until next time, be safe and don't get scammed. That's what I say on my true crime podcast. But look, there's a community on YouTube that's supportive and loving and will get everyone through this stuff. So have faith in that. But you just have to choose your battles and also just be very careful with who you get close to and what you do with them. You know, just try not to take YouTube stuff off YouTube. Keep it on YouTube and you'll be fine. But it's been lovely having you all here, and I will work out how to get Lindley and James Blunt's beautiful duet up as soon as I can. Until then, stay groovy.